All right, so welcome back, and this is our Loki episode 2 roundup, ready for episode 3 coming tomorrow. So we're going to go through it. We're going to talk about ratings, what we thought of the episode, and then quick go through 10 minutes max of what we thought, bits in the episode. Yeah,
agreed. Lovely.
Oh, okay, nice. Oh, by the way, Connor's here, and also it's Brad.
Hello.
And don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube channel, and check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Weekly Cut. Now that being said.
Ticking boxes there, well played.
Connor was giving the eye. So let's go with it straight away. Connor, rating on the episode, and let's say average out your season so far. Obviously, first episode 1 and 2. Let's go.
Episode, give it an 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. Much better than the first one. Season of the whole, I'd probably give it a 7 so far. Really enjoyed it.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I will say it's probably just, I found quite similar to the first episode, but I would say just edges it, and I'd give this a 7.5 ep. I think I gave the first one a 7, and then overall 7 for the series. Really enjoying it.
Nice. I think I gave last week's 8. If you haven't listened to that one, that was on our podcast last episode. Full breakdown of that one. But I gave that last one an 8. I'm going to stick 8 with this one as well. Average out between us again, 7.5 then for the second episode. So going pretty well this series.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Lots of twists and turns. Quite a bit more things happened in this one, and this is what we mentioned last week. What the reviewers all saw this one as well and thought it was the better of the two. But I think maybe if you saw the 2 episodes together, it probably worked as a good hour and a half between the two of them, hour 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Really well done. So let's start it off. So we go straight in 1985, the Wisconsin Fair. And then we get straight in a bit of action. The variant who we now know from the last episode is, by the way, there's full spoilers for this.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not pussyfooting around. So we go straight in with the Loki variant who was mentioned last episode. Go back to the old mind control that we ain't seen for a while from Loki. And then it was quite violent a bit, no?
Yeah, it was.
Stabbing each other with lances and knives and stuff, and obviously took over control of the agent that was there.
Was that the I Need a Hero bit?
Yes,
wasn't it?
So we mentioned it last week, obviously, I'm going to plug it again, our podcast last week, we did, obviously, Master Universe thing, and everyone, there was the classic Heroes 80s song.
Yeah.
It was getting this. I think it worked really well. It was quite good.
100%.
A smile came on my face when I heard the song.
Yeah.
It was just quite a good, although there was horrific things happening, I think that maybe was the point of it.
It lightened it.
I need a hero.
Getting off topic, is Bonnie Tyler getting because
Oh,
there was
yeah.
something else as well, and I can't think now. It was in about 3 or 4 things. There was
I
Masters of the
see,
Universe,
yeah.
Loki. There was something else in it coming as well.
Oh, yeah, she's getting...
Well, I
titles.
think after a certain amount of time, some songs go into the public domain, so
I think it's about 100 years, though.
probably not that. It probably ain't been that
I
long
think
then.
Bonnie's that old.
So yeah, it was a good moment. Obviously took over control quite a bit, and then first time we see the variant Loki take a hostage. Then this bit I really quite liked, and I must say my partner liked it as well. I think maybe is Jay watching it as well with you? Okay, so Holly's watching it. I think Holly might have liked it as well. The Miss Minutes bit, the little hologram, and a little chat with Loki. I thought that was quite cool. Yeah. Obviously, he asked a question whether you are a sentient being or whatever, or you are just a computer program. Turns out a bit of both.
Yeah,
it was quite a fun little interaction.
Yeah.
And then we get the bit when they're all standing around. You get the different variations of Loki. Some interesting ones,
Weird ones.
So you had a Lance Armstrong looking one in the yellow jersey from the Tour de France. You had quite a hulking looking one, like a monster type one. You had another one where he was all blue, where he's still obviously a frost giant sort of one. I think go back to what Kevin Feige said before. You're going to see different versions of characters, and I think this sort of emphasised it a bit that there is many versions of different versions of what could be.
Yeah.
But then we get to the bit where I think this is where it's a bit of a mystery behind the show. And correct me if I'm wrong, but they're talking about the timekeepers, and obviously they're going on the mission to go find this variant. They're going to Wisconsin to investigate the crime scene. Yeah. And Loki wants to meet the timekeepers. It seems like that's a feature of this.
Yeah.
Like they want to know what's going on. There's a lot of theories going around whether the timekeepers are what they are or what they aren't, or if it's just Kang who we're going to meet in Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. I can't remember the guy's name now. Jonathan Majors, who's casted. Thank you very much. So he sort of promised, yes, if you do this, you can get closer to the timekeepers. And then we get the old school Loki, don't we, in a tent.
Yeah.
I actually did you
I
believe
believed
what
him.
he was saying?
I did.
I
believe him.
did.
I believe him.
I did. Because he immediately says like, if you step outside this tent, it's all over for you, basically.
Yeah.
I believe
She's waiting for you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, sorry, not shit.
Whoa! just the
variant.
just the Loki variant at this
He's
point, my
waiting.
friend.
I was like, oh shit, good trap.
Yeah.
I was sold.
Yeah, same.
I was, and speaks volumes for him. Owen Wilson, however, saw right through it.
Oh, yeah.
Saw right through it. So Mobius calls him out on it, and then we get the interaction between Mobius and I can never remember her name. The main judge, the main TVA.
It's like Raven, something RAV.
Yeah. Again, we mentioned it last week, and it's Kang's lover from the comics, so it makes sense. But yeah, we get him, and she says, and I think it's a bit of a weird moment, really, because I think some people have picked up on it. I thought of it. He says that Mobius is not the only analyst, and there's a bit where he's making a rings with cups on the table, and he says that, oh yes, that was also you from another time. I think something's going on here.
Strange.
Yeah.
It was weird wording around it. And then obviously Mobius says he's never met the timekeepers, nor has whoever the main TVA woman is. They just follow directions. And then we get what makes a Loki tick, that sort of question.
Yeah.
So he's always talking, always trying to trick. Mobius sort of figures out Loki's plan of trying to overthrow the TVA. He knows, so like you really get a sense of like they know what they're doing there. They know they're going to try and stab him in the back. They're going to try and take over the TVA.
It's Ravonna, by the way.
Ravonna, that's
close.
Close enough. And then we get the bit where you go over some case files. There was funny moments here. I don't know, the woman sort of shushed him and that. And then Loki wants to ask the librarian, where the files are for the creation of the TVA, the beginning of time, the end of time. And she sort of just leads him to one file, the only file he can read, which is just about himself.
Yeah.
Thought it was a good moment. Did you spot anything in them files?
Yeah,
what they was
not
watching?
as much death, casualties. As
Yeah.
I thought.
I
thought if it was half as Thanos' thing was to get rid of half of a race, I thought 9,800.
No, this is Ragnarok. This wasn't Thanos, was it?
Oh,
We're
sorry,
talking about
right.
the Ragnarok bit when it blows up.
But still.
Yeah, I thought there'd be more.
Yeah,
How
that's
many
cool.
people
I wrote it down.
in
It was
this?
9,717-ish.
I just thought there'd be more deaths.
Yeah, I thought so as well.
Big place.
The whole thing blew up. Well, I mean, they couldn't have all fit in like that ship.
True, yeah.
Titanic.
Yeah. Again, it adds to the sort of point that he's looking at like his life from the future that's going to happen. Even like some people have spotted that the Revengers were spotted.
see that,
Well,
yeah.
I didn't see it either, but people out there did. The Revengers were spotted in the text. Like Thor, Loki.
Yeah.
Is this when he's
Valkyrie.
crying? He cries at this point, and then when he's looking at this file.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that was brilliant acting, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. And then we get, I think, which is everyone's favourite scene, the salad bowl scene. Do you want to talk about this one?
Go, Brad. No, you take it.
This for me. I mean, we keep saying star power, and the two A-list actors come in. It was so good, and it was clever. It was, you knew what Loki was trying to say. Owen Wilson, you got to use a bit more comedy in it. I just thought that interaction. I felt on the edge of my seat whilst Loki was explaining.
Yeah.
And I just thought everything about it, from the just stupidity of pouring that juice into his salad to understanding Loki's theory.
Bit of salt and pepper.
Bit of salt and pepper when he kept talking and looking at him going, yeah, this is Ragnarok. And it was the explanation of Ragnarok with a salad, and then Owen Wilson gradually going, you're onto something.
Yeah.
I thought,
See, the thing is, because I got a bit of kickback, because I did the review for this second episode, I got a bit of kickback saying, oh, why you were saying it's so slow and slow paced. It isn't what was said. It said it was a slower pace to start, but the interaction, my exact review was the interaction between Owen Wilson and Tom Wilson meant I didn't mind.
Yeah.
I didn't mind at all, because it was brilliant. It was just slower pace in the fact of like what was actually happening.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it was a bad thing. I did actually go back a few times and
Yeah.
say, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. And it was brilliant. I like that bit. There was a bit at the very start where it was like, oh, when he's talking about Ragnarok, he goes, my homeworld was destroyed, all the people, the casualties, and Mobius says, I'm very sorry about it. He goes, yes, very sad. And carries on.
Yeah.
I did like that.
So good.
And then we get with the scene that we saw about in the trailer where he goes to Pompeii and he tests his theories, that makes some bird noises and stuff like that. And and then Loki doesn't want to do that. He wants to set some goats free. He wants to tell them all they're going to die just to prove his point. And Loki was right. It makes no difference whatever. And he's I think it's actually quite clever.
Yeah.
You know, what's actually happening there. So you can hide in the apocalypses. It ain't going to make a difference.
Yeah.
And it does make sense. If the ultimate fact still happens, it doesn't matter what you do before, which is what they monitor, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
The main timeline is
So no branches come and
exactly that. They look through, for the natural disasters. They have a bit of a conversation about jet skis, which is quite cool, I suppose. It's a bit weird.
He will ride one in this series.
Oh, there's been pictures mocked up of
actually?
Mobius and Loki on the back of a jet ski to come have a little ride about.
Just a bit like a Truman Show in Fiji.
Yes.
Let's go Fiji.
Yes.
He's stuck in his
Yeah.
place. Yeah.
And then we get obviously about the scared little boy a bit. Loki brings it up, and then we go back to the kablooey blue bubble gum that was given to the kid in like the 1500s or something like that. They figure out that it can only be that was only done between 2047, 2051, all that stuff. And then they said need to find something that matches up with the natural disasters and that. And there's a big hurricane/typhoon, or I can't remember exactly what was said.
I think it's a hurricane,
Something like that. That's going to destroy Roxgart, which is possibly a link to Roxxon
I think so,
energy and that, which has been featured in Marvel Comics and other such stuff. And then obviously we go there and there's the missing agent there. They find her. She's scared or so. And then she reveals that she told the variant. We still don't know who the variant is. Obviously, if you listen to this, you probably do. But the variant told the variant where the timekeepers are.
Yep.
So we see the plan from this version of Loki that it's basically what, let's say, our version of Loki wants to do.
Yeah.
Overthrow or kill the timekeepers or something. It wants to rule over it, basically, because this seems like the ultimate sort of power. And then I thought it was quite actually. What did you think of the supermarket scene? It was
I thought it was a really cool scene.
I thought it was quite creepy.
Yeah.
You know, like when it keeps changing, because obviously it takes over a guy, the enchantment over the guy who's like shopping for plants in a hurricane.
Randomly,
And it skips to the agent, and then it goes on. And then we get the other guy. I can't remember his name. Is it Randy?
Big
Randy.
tall, we
We get
really
Randy,
weird.
and then it's all the acting's pretty good from these
Yeah.
unknown
Yeah.
people, really, isn't it? And then it skips over to the big guy, and they have a little tussle.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite good. Obviously, Loki can't really do too much. I don't really understand that.
I didn't understand. I won't say too much, but I didn't really
No,
like that part.
Say something.
Yeah, I didn't like it. He's at the end of the day, he has gone toe to toe with Thor.
Yeah.
So seeing him get, I know it's the variant's powers in this hillbilly, but seeing him get tossed around like a rag doll and not really been able to do much, quite odd. I thought.
Yeah, it was. Didn't make sense.
I know that they're trying to
Yeah.
do with this Loki character in this series.
I don't think it's true, but the only defense I've seen from someone else is when someone's enchanted, they're a bit enchanted with power.
That's
well.
a poor.
I think it's
poor-
stretching.
That's poor.
I think it's stretching. I do think it's stretching. And then we see Loki speaking to the enchanted person, making an offer, them saying no. 'Cause it seems like, let's say our Loki thinks he's the superior. It seems like the other one is the superior.
Yeah.
No, knows what's going. It's 10 steps ahead. That old sort of shenanigans. And then we get the fight with the big guy like we spoke about. I did find it quite funny, but a little bit cringy.
Yeah.
Loki fighting him with a Hoover.
Yeah.
It was a Hoover because he said he had his magic back as shown when he dried himself off. So could have whacked out a couple of
not
knives
doing
or
anything,
done his whole duplication. There wasn't much going on from Loki. To be fair, I know he was talking to himself essentially, but
Maybe he just wanted to. Maybe he wanted to see what her plan was and stuff like that, so he
possibly,
didn't want to stop her.
yeah.
Sort of
Because
thing.
we get
So-
glimpses of that, the time resetters,
Yeah.
in amongst the shelves and stuff like that. So something's about to go down.
Yeah.
But then we get the variant Loki reveal themselves, and it turns out it's a female Loki.
Yep.
Fine. Some people think it's the Enchantress. Down the line, it could be. It could be that Enchantress is a big character from Thor and Loki. Just basically a witch, a god witch sort of thing. But it looks like female Loki to me. Kevin Feige's already said that they're going to see different variations of the same characters we know and love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she comes up the line, it isn't about you. And then the timer goes off, and you see each individual, like, what would you call them? Time doors, maybe,
Yeah.
open up underneath each
the
one.
little portal things.
Little time portals or something. And all the resetters that dropping through to various locations or whatever. Skip back to the TVA, and it is absolute chaos.
Yeah.
Absolute chaos. And You see branches coming off it. The main timeline's not intact. You see in the thing you have time resetters going to Titan, Vormir, New York, Hala, all these famous MCU locations. So this is multiverse confirmed.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be. Even the one like there's people out there now saying, "Oh, the New York one is New York opening up different timelines, which could incorporate the free Spider-Man and whatever, which it well could do. We don't know. And then we have the bit where Lady Loki disappears, gives him a little wave goodbye, but leaves the door open.
Yeah,
and then Mobius coming after him saying like Loki don't, and then Loki leaves, and that's Curtis. That's the end of the
cool
episode.
ending.
It's a bit of that where our Loki is not doing it for the wrong reason. It doesn't seem so much, and Mobius and the TVA don't understand that. Obviously, he's going to go. He's inquisitive.
Yes,
an inquisitive man.
Mischievous.
Yeah, well, yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought especially the shopping rocks cart scene. I thought that was all very good.
Same. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
So multiverse confirmed. What did you think of that the main event, the main crux of that episode? So when all the times went,
that just sets up the whole series for me. Yeah. This is going to be chaos, and it's just going to be trying to fix that. That tells me it's going to be a big series. I hope that it's going to kick right off.
Well, we've seen in the trailer there's bits where you saw like the destroyed New York Avengers Towers boat. So that may be the New York path, but it's definitely opened it up quite a lot, and I'm bang on for the next episode.
Looking forward to it.
Oh, it's by far the strongest Disney Plus opening. First two by a long, long way.
Yeah, and we all thought WandaVision was going to open a multiverse, and turns out possibly not. Boo. So, any other final thoughts on that?
No,
nothing more to add. Very, very intrigued.
Yeah. Okay. So so that's your roundup for episode 2. Episode 3 is out tomorrow. We'll be back next week for the next one, and hopefully it'll be just as good.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.